Thank you all so much. I moved from Washington, D.C. to Philadelphia in January 2020. Yeah, I know, right? Good timing. And I said, I'm going to hit the ground running, rub elbows, shake hands, network. And then Dr. Fauci was like, no shaking hands, no rubbing elbows, 6 feet distance, right? Um, but thankfully, my first job in Philadelphia was as a part-time gig at Mirror Arts Philadelphia, the nation's largest public art program in the country. And I worked in the restorative justice department for a year before becoming the director of communications and brand management. Now, I'm the first man and the first person of color to serve in my role as communications director in 40 years. And I'm an actor and a filmmaker and a musician, and so I use my experience as a storyteller to inform how I manage the brand at Mirror Arts Philadelphia. I have been able to play a lot of roles, and right now I'm playing the role of communication director. I've even played the role of President Obama in Pittsburgh in a stage play. Here's the thing. Last night, me and Michelle were talking about how we as Americans need to do better. Yes, we can. If there's anyone out there. So, but this year, Mirror Arts Philadelphia is celebrating its 40 years, and so the theme that I thought of was Roots and Reimagination. We just had our 40th anniversary press conference. Jane Golden is our beloved founder and executive director. And so I was trying to figure out how can I use my experience as a storyteller, as an actor, filmmaker, to distill 40 years of history. And so I started thinking, how can I create something that really succinctly expresses all that we do? Because, raise your hand if you love the murals here in the city of Philadelphia. We have over 4,000 works of public art. We have a staff of over 60. We have tons and tons of artists and contractors who work with us. And so how do we do this? And so I started thinking like a filmmaker. If you go to Netflix, you can see a log line that explains exactly what a film or a series is about in a single sentence or two. And so I said, maybe that's how I can go about it. And so I started thinking, maybe I can use my experience as a filmmaker to distill complex stories into a single sentence. And so that's how you go about being strategic, is figuring out how to be innovative. Again, not only am I the first man and the first person of color to serve in my role, but I'm the only person who's been an actor and a filmmaker and a musician in my role. So I needed to use that, right? So I came up with this new slogan. For a long time we said art ignites change. But if you don't know the type of art we're talking about, you don't know the type of change we're referring to, and you don't know how we're igniting it, it may not be very clear. To a lot of people, it may just be art on the wall. So I came up with a new slogan, which is beautify, inspire, empower. And that is that Mirror Arts Philadelphia exists to provide transformative experiences, progressive discourse, and economic stimulus to the city of Philadelphia through participatory public art that beautifies, advocacy that inspires, and educational programming and employment opportunities that empower. And now, that beautify, inspire, empower permeates through all of our printed and digital materials. And so this was one of the first things that I did, because for me, I just need to figure out how to understand 40 years of history. We do all kinds of things, from restorative justice to art education for young people to working with the Department of Behavioral Health and Intellectual Disability Services through a program called Porchlight. And so now when you look at a lot of our materials, whether I'm on the radio, on television, or you read some of our materials, you'll get a better understanding of how art ignites change. How we do it? We beautify, we inspire, and we empower. I think part of the story that is very interesting is that it shows that when you have a different perspective in the room, it can make a big difference in how you tell your stories. And so as a result of the work of the organization for over 40 years, we even got the attention of folks like Abbott Elementary. Did anyone get to see this episode? We were on Abbott Elementary, and we had a great screening at Bach Building. We had a full house, and people came out to see how our work is done. And as an actor and filmmaker and musician, I get to work on the screenplay with Warner Brothers to be able to help tell this story. I mean, for that to happen on my watch, God damn it. That was pretty cool. And so it was really exciting to be able to help express and communicate and curate the nuances of our particular story. So I just want to thank you all so much for coming out here and to support us, support Mural Arts Philadelphia. We're hoping that we can be here in the future. We don't want to just focus on the past, the roots, but the reimagining the future of public art and civic engagement. So definitely go to muralarts.org to learn more. And I need you all to help promote public art, because it makes a big difference in the world. It not only reflects the communities that we serve, but it shows ownership and community engagement, and it makes people think about things they never thought about before. Beautify, inspire, empower. Thank you so much.